Okay, so this screencast is going to take you through how to set up the STAR Online practice site so that students can go on there and practice using that platform and become familiar with how it works and with all the different tools and stuff like that. And students that are taking STAR Online do need to have several practice sessions on this so that they are comfortable with it, they're familiar with it, and they're not going to try to discover things on the actual STAR day. So you can kind of play around with this stuff ahead of time. I have held some sessions already this year. I have a feeling that we probably have some more students though that maybe got added or something after that, and those students will need to have some practice time. So this is how you can do that. So first, I'm going to send you this one-page document here over your email, and that has a link in it right here that you'll click. And what that will do is it'll have you download the secure platform that you need to download, and that's how they're going to access that site, is through the secure platform that you download. And so you can put this right on your teacher Mac or Chromebook or anything like that that they're going to use. But you'll just click the link and then you'll download and install the platform. And once you do that, you'll see this on your desktop. And I've already done that, so I'm going to just come over here and find it real quick. There it is. And so what you're going to do basically is you'll just double click on that. And this is what it'll look like when it comes up. Now, if you have Firefox or Safari open, it's going to put up an error and it's going to say it can't load it. You have to close Firefox and Safari. You can only do this through Google Chrome. And so once this comes up, students are going to click on the practice session. Now, this is similar to what they're going to see on actual STAR. But for these purposes, they're going to click on practice. And then it'll load some different things, and it'll say, select from the options below to choose your practice test. And so you can just have them click on, it doesn't really matter, because these are just practicing, basically not practicing questions and answers, but practicing how to manipulate the platform. So it really doesn't matter what you have them do, but we'll just say it's going to be third grade math. And select a test. Now, L has the linguistic accommodations, language accommodations embedded. SOA, that's the one we want to use. This one has the text-to-speech and other supports. And this will be loaded per student. So, for example, some students might have text-to-speech, but we did not approve them for the language and content support. And so when they log on, it'll come up with what I have put in place for them. So, if they don't have language and content support, then that option won't be available for them. So there's nothing that they would need to do for that. It's just going to automatically be loaded per whatever the ARD 504 or RTI committee decided. And so this is what they'll see first, is a quick activity to check and make sure that the speakers are working. And so they'll do that.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy white dog.
And it'll say, were you able to hear the text? And if they were, they're going to say yes. And then this is going to come up, and they're just going to come down here and click next. And then they'll have some directions for them to read, just like they're going to get on the actual STAR day. And it's similar to what we say out loud for gradable questions. Determine the best answer, type it into the boxes. You may not need to use all the boxes, so it's just similar test directions. And then it's going to show them moving through the test. They can click on any question number to go to that question. They can move forward and back between pages. So this is just for them to become familiar with all the different things they're going to be able to do when they take their online test. This shows them they can click mark for review on any of these. Maybe they want to come back to that one or something like that. And so this shows them how to do that. This shows them how to highlight certain parts of the text. If they want to hear the text read, it shows them to click on the speak emblem. This is where they could get some graph paper or a ruler. This is how they could X out the answers they know are not right. They could X out with that. So it kind of is going to take them through use of all those tools. They're going to see this screen. We'll just have them go ahead and click next. So this will take them to one practice question on this. And so let's say that they want to hear the question read.
Underneath the shaded part of the figure shown below.
And they want to pause it right there, maybe, or if they just want to have a certain word, they could let's see, speak, click word, let's say they want to have just that word.
Figure.
See, so they could do that too. So they could choose to have this read. They could choose to have just a word read. It's whatever they choose. And that's the thing about the online test is that the student controls that. So whoever is administering this test is not going to be allowed to go over and say, click here and have them read it. They can't do that. It's totally going to be students are totally in charge of that. So that's another reason that we really want them to get some good practice with this and to know what your expectations are. So let's see, what fraction of the figure is shaded? And so there's a conversion chart here. If this question had anything to do with quarts and gallons or anything like that, they do have their reference chart just like on paper. They have a ruler here. If there's anything they need to measure, they can kind of play around with how that works. There's graph paper that they can, can use if they want to, if the question has anything to do with that. Pencil option. What fraction of the figure is shaded? So maybe they want to go through here and mark 1, 2, 3, just whatever you have trained them to do in class. They could still do it, see, on this, as if they had pencil and paper. They will not have a math test on paper in front of them. They'll only have this, but they do have that option. So let's say they do that, and they come up with 6. So they read the question again. It doesn't say unshaded. It says shaded. So let's say they go, okay, well, I know it's not 1/6 because that's not really one of the obvious choices. So let's say they click that and they just say it's not that. 2 8s. Let's see, how many are there all together? 1, 2, okay, there's 8 altogether. 2 8s is not shaded. That'd be the unshaded. So nope, not that, and it's definitely not that. So they have to click that off, and let's say they say it's 6 8s. And then they say, oh, let me mark that for review because I want to make sure, I want to come back to that later. And so they just go on. And so as they work their way through these questions, they're practicing all those different tools that are up there and the tools that are available to them. And so let's say they go through all the tests and they come to the last one. And then this is going to come up. This is where they can review. Okay, you flagged this one, you answered it, but you also flagged it. So you need to go back to that. That's going to tell them that, oh, I need to, and they can click right on that one to go straight to that question. This is one that's answered. All of these were not answered. So, of course, when they do it, they're all going to, be answered. But this is where they can verify that, I didn't skip any. They're all right here. If they want to take a break, they're more than welcome to do that. They can pause it. This comes up, are you sure you want to go on? You can't come back to it. And they're just going to say, yes, I'm sure. And then if they click on log out, this is not submitting it. This is just like if they want to log out and maybe they're going to come back tomorrow and finish. So they would do that. But anyway, that's basically a look at the practice site that they need to be practicing with. And so just, like I said, you'll get this in an email, just download and install it, and then they're ready to go. I hope that was helpful. And let me know if you have any questions or need any other support with that.